Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys so much. You Gotham Knights fans have been so amazing to help with my channel by hitting the subscribe button, commenting. All of that is very helpful to content creation to serve you guys. So thank you very much. Today I wanted to take a slight turn on what I believe will be a very solid franchise to still revisit somewhere down the future. Now, I guess this is something that comes from, that old school attachment that you have to franchises that you've engaged with for over the years. But here's something that's really interesting. In gaming, one of the things that really does resonate with players is players necessarily don't need all the change in the world. Sometimes it appears that change, is a good thing. And yes, it is. There's nothing wrong with change. It's one of the most constant things that you have. But when change is being introduced, especially to a system that seems to have been stabilized, it's always advisable that that change be somewhat, I would say, gradual and incremental. And the reason I'm actually going to, portray this is because right now we're getting the Gotham Knights game. And, for most of you, you understand that for many Arkham players, it's not necessarily been the most easy transition to actually, embrace this new game, especially for, people like myself. Now, yes, I am now at the point where I'm ready for the game, but it took a while to transition to that point where, I'm a little bit more excited about the game and such. It's not something that I basically saw immediately and was like, okay, this is great. In fact, I thought the most amazing thing of all the announcements from the DC game was the fact that I saw, evil Superman in the, Kill the Justice League reveal trailer. But over the, past few months, I've started to warm up to the Arkham games. But at the same time, the loyalties are still where they are. And that is with Batman games. And I think at this point, by the time we've finally, explored the Arkham games, by the time we finally gotten to the point where we explore the Suicide Squad game, if it, ever comes out, I feel and I believe that there will be a need for the community to at least get a Batman game that is still at the core of what Batman is. And it doesn't necessarily have to be an Arkham style game, but it just has to tell a Batman story that players can rally around. Now, I know I'm going to get some criticism. I know there are going to be people who say, well, it's time to move on to other franchises. Yes, I get it. There are the Young Justice, franchises. There is also the Justice League franchise. There are many places to go. There are superheroes that will make for amazing games, no doubt. You have Flash. You have, in my opinion, I think Green Arrow will make for an amazing game. In fact, if you showed me, two documents and said, which one do you want first, a Batman game or a Green Arrow game? I'll take a Green Arrow game. But I'm still at the point where I'm saying, Batman is basically a concept that has lasted for over 80 years in different iterations, movies, literature, even in games. And still till date, there is some level of recognition with the character and legacy with him that will still make a game well done about him a viable entry into the list of games. So somewhere, somehow, I'm hoping that some studio in the Warner Brothers league that makes the superhero games still has Batman on their radar to make a game. In fact, more importantly, I think a studio like Rocksteady will be much more interesting if they were to pick it back up. Now, there are many reasons to go this way. So let's look at Rocksteady for now. Remember when, Arkham Knight was being made and developed and being shipped? There's an interview that Stephen Hill did, and he was being asked, so you guys think you're going to make another Arkham game? And, he said, I think we're done with Arkham for now. This was a number of years ago. This is actually, a very telling interview because you could tell that the studio had basically had their fill of doing Batman games. I mean, they've had literally thrown 3 of the best superhero games on the market at that time, and I think they were willing and ready to move on. Now, we don't know all the incidences since 2015 or maybe earlier about other projects that they were interested in doing that didn't get the green light, but it seems like their Suicide Squad game has gotten the green light because that's something that they said they wanted to do. Stephen Hill said they wanted to do it, and it was nice that the whoever the leaders or the decision makers were gave them the green light. But it will be very nice and very interesting if they were to revisit the Batman story. And at this rate, revisit him with a lot of the characters that people have been asking for. Now, who knows? Maybe in the Suicide Squad game, they may check off that box and we could see a lot of different characters get showcased. We could see, the Justice League actually come in a different fashion. In fact, it could be that not only are we going to be able to play as a Suicide Squad, we may get to experience some gameplay mechanics that, basically puts I would say characters like Flash and Superman in our hands to control and play. I mean, that would be the most amazing thing if they can actually pull that off. I mean, think about it. There is nothing crazy about thinking that way. I mean, it's not the very first time where, a game developer is going to put another character into your hand for you to control for a little bit and kind of get a taste of. I wouldn't mind playing as Flash. And by the way, if you don't know, they basically confirmed Flash being in the Suicide Squad game. If you guys go back and watch that long, weird reveal conversation that the Justice League or the Suicide Squad were having with that comedian, one of them said, "You mean we're going to be able to take on guys like Flash?" And he said, yeah. He basically, inadvertently or maybe openly, they wanted to, confirmed that. And in that storyline, anyways, from the literature, it's also there. So this is why I made this video. I felt like, this conversation still needs to go on around Batman. And as much as we are excited to see the new generation of Bat Kids, it is not without, it's not something that we can go without saying that, Batman is still a critical and integral part of this entire aspect of things. You could take away Batman temporarily, but, the only thing that we have so far, even from this reveal, is that Batman is presumed dead. Even they are saying, yes, at this rate, Batman is dead and all that, but fans are still not even buying it. I mean, why are fans still holding on if the developers have basically put out a narrative that presumes that Batman is dead? Why have fans not even adopted the narrative in total? I think it's because deep down somewhere, the fandom does want to see Batman show up in some form or fashion. So we'll be looking and seeing what's going on. But again, this is one of those videos that I'm making way ahead of myself. I definitely understand we need to be very excited and we need to be looking forward to the Gotham Knights game. And so most definitely, I am one of the people that will tell you, I am looking forward to Gotham Knights at this point. But, once in a while, you can't help but wonder what could or what couldn't be. So thank you so much for your time and audience. I appreciate you guys a lot. Thank you very much for engaging in the content. You guys are quite amazing. Hopefully we'll talk in another video. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section nonetheless. This is very important to me in my videos. Do you think that another Batman-based game will be something that will be welcome with the community, or do you think the community is ready to move on? I don't think the community is ready to move on. I mean, and I also don't think that the community will refuse a Batman game if they saw one. But, at the same time, I want to hear what you think. Thank you very much. Once again, we'll talk in another video. Peace out.